Welcome to the introduction video of TopView SQL. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a brief introduction to TopView SQL, as well as to provide a demonstration of the steps required to configure TopView SQL to perform real-time monitoring of data from an ODBC or OLE DB data source. Excel TopView software is available as multiple products based on the source of the monitored data. Other TopView products include TopView OPC SCADA, TopView Pi, and TopView Perfmon. TopView SQL is one of the TopView products that differ based on the source of the monitored data. Using TopView SQL, the user can perform real-time monitoring of data that exists in databases, files, and spreadsheets. Most local and remote databases can be accessed through two vendor-neutral database communication technologies, ODBC and OLE DB. TopView SQL supports both ODBC and OLE DB, allowing TopView SQL to monitor almost every database vendor on the market today. Each TopView version supports the concept of a piece of data whose value can be monitored by TopView. We call each data point a tag. In the other versions of TopView, the tag concept easily translates into data values that are already available in the data source. Therefore, the user can start accessing the tag data without the need to first create the tags. Each tag contains a current measurement value that can be monitored real-time by the TopView alarm and notification engine. The monitored values are compared to user-created alarm conditions, triggering TopView to generate alarms, notifications, and to perform all alarm and event-based functions supported by TopView. Unlike the other TopView versions, the concept of a tag does not exist within a database. Instead, getting values from a database requires the execution of a query to extract one or more pieces of data from the database. In order to allow databases to work within the TopView tag framework, TopView SQL requires that the user perform configuration steps to create the tags that can then be monitored by TopView SQL. The TopView SQL tag to database layer is a transparent layer configured by the user that names the databases, queries, and the mappings of tags to query results. Once the tags are defined, TopView SQL can use these tags to perform the monitoring, alarm, and notification functions supported by TopView. For process customers, TopView SQL allows real-time access to data that may not be available through traditional process data interfaces such as OPC and Pi. For example, this may include data from lab and maintenance systems. TopView SQL is immediately powerful by inheriting the features of TopView, a mature and popular alarm management and notification tool. For non-process customers, TopView brings the world of real-time monitoring and alarming to data stores such as inventory and shipping systems, websites and SharePoint databases, as well as financial and HR databases. If the underlying database supports ODBC or OLE DB, you can monitor it with TopView SQL. The rest of this video contains a demonstration of the configuration of TopView SQL to monitor data that exists in a Microsoft Access database table. Both ODBC and OLE DB configuration will be demonstrated. You will learn how to configure the connection to the database, how to write two queries that can be executed against the database, and how to create three tags that can be monitored by the TopView SQL alarm and notification engine. TopView SQL installs a sample Microsoft Access database that will be used for this demonstration. The database contains a single table named tank data. This table contains a level and temperature reading for 9,000 tanks. Each record contains a tank ID, the level and temperature values, a description of the tank, and the time of the readings. We will configure TopView to monitor the three level readings for tank 1, 2, and 3. TopView SQL contains a set of configuration screens that can be used to create the databases, queries, and tags that can be monitored by TopView SQL. The TopView Configurators Tags and Limits screen allows you to start the TopView SQL configuration. The main TopView SQL configuration screen displays the current number of databases and tags. It allows the user to configure the databases, queries, and tags. It also allows the user to launch detailed help and examples for TopView SQL configuration. The first step of configuration is to specify the database and connection details. Each database that can be accessed by TopView SQL is created as a database alias. The database alias is a user-given name for the database. The database alias properties include the details of the database and connection, including database location, security settings, and ODBC or OLE DB driver settings. We will create two database aliases for the sample Microsoft Access database, one using ODBC and one using OLE DB. First, we will create the ODBC database alias. Click the New Database Alias button to create the alias. I need to enter a name for the alias. The first alias will be called TankData ODBC. The connection type is set to ODBC. ODBC connections require an ODBC driver for your database. You may need to contact your database vendor to obtain the correct ODBC driver. For ODBC connections, the database and connection details are stored within a DSN or database source name on the local computer. On Windows computers, the user can define one or more DSNs that can be utilized by applications on the computer. DSNs can be defined for the current user or for all users called system DSNs. We recommend using a system DSN with TopView SQL. The ODBC DSN configuration tool is available through Control Panel or by clicking the ODBC Data Source Administrator button. A system DSN named My Access Database exists and points to the sample Microsoft Access database. Examining the details of the DSN, the ODBC driver used is the Microsoft Access driver. And the details of the DSN simply point to the Microsoft Access database file. Depending on the ODBC driver used, the configuration screen may require different information. To configure this alias, I need to select the desired DSN. I can test the connection to verify that the DSN is configured properly, and click OK to save this alias. Although this demonstration will use the existing TankData ODBC connection, I will create a second alias that connects to the same Microsoft Access database using OLE DB. Again, I need to enter a name for the alias. This one will be named TankData OLE DB. Next, I'll set the connection type to OLE DB. OLE DB connections require an OLE DB provider for your database. An OLE DB provider is similar to the ODBC driver required for ODBC connections. You may need to contact your database vendor to obtain the correct OLE DB provider. Unlike ODBC connections and DSNs, most OLE DB connections require that you provide the connection details within a connection string. The final connection string displayed will contain the details of the OLE DB connection settings for this alias. First, I will select the OLE DB provider from Microsoft Access Databases, the Microsoft JET 4.0 provider. To assist the user with the details and syntax of the connection string, TopView SQL contains a wizard. First, I'll verify that the correct provider is selected. Next, I'll click the Connections tab to fill in the required details for the database. For the Microsoft Access database, I need to point to the Microsoft Access database file. The Advanced and All tabs contain additional information that may be required for your database. I can test the connection and click OK to return the connection string created by the wizard. The wizard connection string is copied back to the configuration screen. The connection string contains multiple connection settings based on the selected settings in the wizard. Before I can use this connection string for my database alias, I must copy it to the final connection string text box. I can test the connection and click OK to save my new database alias. Next, I need to create a query that retrieves data from my Tank database. Queries are created for a database alias, so I will select the Tank Data ODBC alias and click the Edit Queries button, and then click New Query to create a new query. I will name this query Get All Records. The select query text requires that the user enter an SQL select statement or stored procedure. SQL, or Structured Query Language, is a standard database language used for querying, deleting, inserting, and updating data in a database. The select statement is for querying data. I will enter a select statement to return all records from the Tank Data table. I can test the query to verify the entered SQL select statement. And you can see the 9,000 Tank Data records in the query results. The level values for Tank 1, 2, and 3 are displayed in the result. I will use this query to create TopView SQL tags for the first 2 level values. Since this query contains multiple records, each tag will specify a lookup into the query results for locating the correct level value. Click OK to save the query. Although TopView SQL can monitor multiple databases using multiple queries, there is a single list of TopView SQL tags. The first 2 TopView SQL tags will be created from the Get All Records query in the Tank Data ODBC database alias. To start, I'll click the Create Edit tags, and then click New Tag to create my first tag. The first tag will be named Level 01. Since tag values are mapped to values within a query, I need to assign the database alias and query for this tag. I can click Run Query to execute the query. The lookup filter for the tag specifies the location of the tag value within the query results. The record for Tank 01 level is the first record in the query results, where the tank ID is equal to T0001. Once this record is located, the tag value will be retrieved from the level column. Click Test Filter to test the lookup filter. You can see that the lookup correctly highlights the level value for tank 1. Click OK to save this tag. Next, I will create the tag for the level of tank 2. The name will be level 02. The settings for the second tag are similar to the first tag. Therefore, I will copy the settings from the first tag and paste them into the settings for the second tag. The difference for the second tag is in the lookup filter. The second tag will match the query record where the tank ID is tank 0002. Click OK to save the second tag. The first two tags are using the same query to get their values. For some values, you may need to perform multiple queries, where each query varies by only a few parameters of the query. Let's look at an example. I will create a new query for the tank ODBC database that will return a single record for one of the tanks. The query will be named GetOneTank. The select query will now specify the tank ID for tank 3. If I run the query, you can see the record for tank 3 is returned. I can use this new query to create the level tag for tank 3. If I use the same steps to create additional level tags, I would need to create a query for each additional tag since the select statement includes the tank ID. Another option is to create a single query where the tank ID is specified by each tag. We do this through placeholders. To create a placeholder in the query, I need to check Query contains placeholders, and then replace the tank ID with the first placeholder %p1%. If I run the query, I need to supply a value for the placeholder. When the query executes, it replaces the placeholder with the entered value. Each tag that uses this query must also supply placeholder values. Let's create a tag that uses this new query. Using similar steps as earlier in the video, I will create a new tag for the level of tank 3 that uses the new placeholder query. Because the query contains one placeholder, I must enter a placeholder value for this tag. Since only a single record is returned, I do not need to specify the where clause in the lookup filter. Again, I will get the tag value from the level column. And save this tag. Now that I've created the tags, I want to monitor the values of these tags in the TopView alarm and notification engine. From the Tags and Limits screen of the TopView configurator, I will use Tag Search to select the desired TopView SQL tags and add them to the monitored tag list. I will set an alarm condition for the level of tank 2 if the value is greater than 500. Next, I will launch the alarm and notification engine to monitor the current tag values. You can see the current tag values displayed in the TopView alarm and notification engine. You can see that the tag values in TopView are the correct level readings for tank 1, 2, and 3. If I change the level value for tank 2 in the Microsoft Access table, I should see the updated value in the TopView engine. I will change the level value of tank 2 from 100.2 to 500.3. We should see the updated value in TopView. Also, this new value should raise the TopView alarm for tank 2 level, since the value is now greater than 500. Thank you for watching this introduction video of TopView SQL. Please take a look at our website for additional information and videos on our TopView product. We also invite you to download a full functioning evaluation version of TopView SQL so you can test it against your own databases. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.